This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 19th day of December in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The mayor of Georgetown, Ubrad Narain, announced today that there is no evidence to suggest that the current Georgetown City Council misused its finances or financial resources since taking office in 2019, lashing out at Vice President Bara Jagdeo over his claims that the City Council lacks transparency and accountability. Last Friday, the Vice President said it was impractical for the government to inject funds into the City Council when the City Council lacks transparency and accountability. In a response, the Georgetown mayor challenged the government to audit the municipality's finances. He said shortly after taking office in 2020, the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Daramalal, announced that the council's financial records was being audited. However, to date, the 30-member council has not received a copy of any report. Mayor Narain said while the vice president has laid blame at the feet of the council, it is the administration of the council, which was handpicked by the government, that has failed to operate within the boundaries of the laws governing local organs.
Yes, we are elected councillors, but it's the current government who identified and placed individuals in certain office of the municipality of Georgetown through the local government commission. We may make a recommendation for a treasurer who we think will be fit for that office. The local government commission will and always overturn the decision of this legal elected council.
The city mayor also explained that under the instructions of the government and the local government commission, the city town clerk and the treasurer have acted without first securing the approval of the council.
For example, we recently had an incident at the level of the council where a report was sent to the council from the finance committee, but when we questioned it, the office of the town clerk and the office of the city treasurer already made the payment to the former town clerk, Ms. Carol Suba, which was a directive from the local government commission, unknowing to the full council.
The mayor said the municipality did not go begging the government for anything, but sought its entitlement as provided for under the Customs Act, as he alluded to a request from the council for a duty-free concession. The city's deputy mayor, Alfred Mentor, said the government is in the habit of making loose statements in the absence of empirical evidence. The deputy mayor said the council does its best to manage its resources as it is still short on finances. According to him, under the Fiscal Transfer Act, the government is mandated to offer financial and technical support to the council. The deputy mayor said even as massive developments unfold in the city, the council is unable to effectively capitalize on those developments because the valuation of rates and taxes has not been upgraded.
You have people where 10-story, 8-story properties here paying the same taxes as a property that is a 1-story or a 2-story. That can't be fair. That can't be right. We got to be able to change those things so that the rich, or the bourgeois as we want to say, must be able to pay their fair share as against the proletariat, which is the working class.
Mentor said notwithstanding its challenges, the Georgetown City Council has been using its resources to ensure that workers are paid as well as contractors.
So we found ways, we have put systems in place, and we haven't had a situation where we in December, where you hear we ain't paying the contractors, Mr. Mayor. We paying them. You ain't hearing the staff that protesting in front of the gate saying they ain't getting paid. We paying them. Everybody is being paid.
The deputy mayor said the council deserves to benefit from the oil resources as the country grows and expands economically. More news coming up in just a moment.
Something big is here. GTT presents the moment you've all been waiting for.
'Tis the season to drive with GTT. Get your chance to be one of 4 lucky winners of a Toyota Raise. Plus, weekly giveaways, and more. Simply activate a prepaid plan. Sign up for fiber and voice plan. Pay any 2 bills with MMG or join the GTT family. And vroom! It could be you. 4 Toyota raises, 4 winners. Drive with GTT.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Sorrel making, hey, garlic postering, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas. 'Tis the season to get what you've always wanted with a little help from Republic Bank. Same day approvals apply online. It's time to make it happen for yourself and your family. Get cash back for the best Christmas ever. Sorrel making, hey, garlic postering, hey, ham and black cake eating. Now this is Christmas.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
The suspect in last Thursday's attack at the president's residence remains hospitalized in a serious condition. He is in the intensive care unit at the Georgetown hospital. In its latest update over the weekend, the Guyana police force said the suspect, who is a Nigerian national, remains on a ventilator. The presidential guard who was attacked by him remains hospitalized and he is recovering well. The guard was stabbed repeatedly in the main security hut at the Carmichael Street entrance to the president's residence after the man turned up at the premises declaring that he wanted to see the president. After stabbing the guard, he was able to disarm another guard and open fire outside the presidential compound. Other presidential guards returned fire, injuring the suspect with multiple gunshots. Since his arrest and hospitalization, police investigators have been trying to gather information on him. Searches were reportedly carried out at the house he rented, and Guyana is seeking to get help from the international law enforcement organizations to track down any details about the man from his native Nigeria. There are reports that he has been living in Guyana for more than 3 years. And still with that story about the attack in State House, former head of the Presidential Guard Unit and retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Sloat said there needs to be a comprehensive review of the state security arrangements, specifically to protect public buildings and public officials. While condemning the attack at State House last week and describing it as unfortunate, Mr. Sloat said it appears that there has been a serious breakdown in the security arrangements which led to the incident. He said the incident calls for a comprehensive review of the entire security arrangements, not only at State House, but at other buildings where senior government and other functionaries work and live. He said this must be done by competent professionals, noting that the review must include staffing, training, and the relevant standard operating procedures, among other issues. Mr. Sloat said the incident also raises serious questions about the competency of those in charge of state security, specifically presidential security. He said he hopes that the incident would cause the government to realize that professionalism and competence are the required elements in the Guyana police force, including an important branch like the Presidential Guard. Mr. Sloat said the security of government functionaries, especially the president, should not be entrusted to cronies and favorites. He said it is still concerning that there are mixed signals and different information being given regarding the incident and the perpetrator. Last week, the gunshots rang out at the official residence of the president after the Nigerian Nigerian man carrying a knife confronted one of the presidential guards and stabbed him several times. The man and the presidential guard have since been hospitalized.
The Guyana Youth Student Movement presents the Green Line Federation. December the 26th at Congress Place of Fire. Performing live. Quincy H, the Fame Band, DJ Magnum, DJ Reality, and Mixmaster Tony. Admission $1,000. Cash prizes for individuals and group with the best fed-up attire. It's the Green Line Federation.
It's November already and soon it will be Christmas, so we at John Lewis Styles are giving away one Amazon Echo show every week in November and every day in December. Stream music and videos, make video calls and control smart devices, alarms, reminders and lots more. Every $5,000 spent gives you a chance to win when you shop for clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage and accessories. So visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Fireside Suite, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price down a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensured down a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap down a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay down a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473. Matic Queen.
GBTI Quick Cash Christmas is back, just the way you like it. Get up to $500,000 easy for anything you want this Christmas. We ain't waiting on Santa. We buy and we own this Christmas. Apply at your nearest branch or online at www.gbtibank.com from October 15th to December 31st. GBTI, we see Christmas through your eyes. Terms and conditions apply.
A very Merry Guyanese Christmas.
The Guyana Police Force is investigating the murder of 40-year-old land surveyor and ranger Ricky Oswald Ambrose. He's from the South Ranville area. Ambrose was working in the Cayenne River area at the time of the incident. He was attached to the Alfonso Mining Company. His body was discovered in a trail near Guyana Sand Trail on Sunday with multiple injuries. According to a police statement, the mining ranger, who was a licensed firearm holder, left Arima Landing early on Sunday morning to work in the Guyana Sand Landing area. He left his base using an ATV. His lifeless body was discovered along the trail by a 24-year-old miner who was heading home from work. The body was about 20 feet from the ATV, the report said. An alarm was raised and investigators from the Bartica police station have since traveled to the area. The man's firearm was missing from the scene and there was also no cash or gold found at the scene. The Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association has lashed out at the police over their response to the incident, but the police noted that there were some challenges in getting to the scene of the crime due to the terrain and bad weather in the area. Well, after a one-month hiatus due to the lack of a quorum, the Public Accounts Committee met today to iron out a number of issues. Today's meeting, which was held behind closed doors, saw the ruling PPP civic government using its one-seat majority on the committee to successfully move a motion to scrutinize the Auditor General reports for 2019 and 2020 separately. The motion was tabled by Government Member of Parliament Sanjeev Tatadin and seconded by Minister of Public Works Juan Edgel. Though passed, it did not secure the support of the opposition members of the Public Accounts Committee. Laying the foundation for the motion, Member of Parliament Tatadin submitted that government's expenditure for 2019 and 2020 was without parliamentary oversight and budgetary debates until September 2020. It was explained that public expenditure during the specified period occurred after the no-confidence motion and in the absence of the sitting of the National Assembly. Today's motion overrides a motion passed earlier at the level of the 9-member committee to merge the 2019 and 2020 reports. Chairman of the PAC, Opposition Member of Parliament Chairman Figueira, told news source today that he was disappointed with the motion and moreover the government's argument in support of the motion.
Government's argument with respect to no confidence motion and such like are in our view most irrelevant to the findings of the Auditor General's report. To suggest those years require more time and special attention due to the occurrences during that period gives the impression that the work done by the Public Accounts Committee prior did not receive such attention.
According to Figueira, the motion is intended to delay the work of the Public Accounts Committee.
We see this as another deliberate action by the PPP administration to stall, stymie, and hinder the work of the Public Accounts Committee, all in an effort to lengthen the time in reaching their years of performance. The findings of the Auditor General's report from the embryonic stage of the PPP being in government is worrying with regards to alleged corruption and misappropriation of the people's resources.
Mr. Figueira said already the Public Accounts Committee is experiencing significant setbacks due to the government's decision to amend the quorum for the PAC. Using its majority in the House earlier this year, the government amended the standing orders governing the Public Accounts Committee to change the quorum required for the sitting of the committee. Under the new rules, there must be 2 government MPs and 2 opposition MPs and the chairman present for there to be a quorum. Under the old rules, only 3 committee members from any side were required to be present for there to be a quorum. With the Christmas holiday shopping season in full swing, the Guyana Police Force is once again urging drivers to be cautious on the country's roadways and stop the speeding. On Saturday, a 37-year-old woman who was out shopping with her family in the Zeeburg area died after she was mowed down by a speeding minibus when its driver lost control. The woman, Gayatri Susankar, was pinned by the bus, which ended up off the roadway, slamming into a nearby store. The bus driver claimed that he lost control after attempting to avoid a collision with a car that had made a sudden turn in front of him. A number of other persons were also injured in the accident, and the driver remains in custody as investigations have been launched.
Census takers are visiting communities across Guyana and collecting information from every household. This information will help the government to plan better for our country's development. All the information shared will be treated as strictly confidential, and everyone is asked to participate. No one should be alarmed about any question asked, because the answers provided will help to improve living standards, decrease community crime rates, and improve access to housing and healthcare, among other benefits.
The census gives us the tool to identify some of these important gaps that exist across communities, within communities, and across regions, so that we can have targeted intervention.
Yeah, we counting way from region 1 to region 10, the whole country. Yeah, we counting way.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight in Jamaica, the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights has imposed a 20-day ultimatum on the Jamaican government after it failed to respond to the body's request for information about precautionary measures taken to prevent health and other dangers posed by bauxite mining to residents in several St. Ann communities. The international group said it was seeking a request for precautionary measures on behalf of Afro-descendant families from peasant communities in St. Ann. The request urges the Commission to require that Jamaica adopt necessary measures to protect the rights to health, personal integrity, and life of the persons proposed as beneficiaries who are currently in a situation placing them at risk due to the impacts of bauxite mining activities within their communities. After the residents complained to the international body back in June, the body asked the government on the 14th of July to respond. When no response was forthcoming, it wrote again in September. Up to November 24, there was no response. While at least 2 high-ranking government officials visited the areas singled out in the complaint, it was unclear if Jamaica formally responded. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte, who has said she is leading a transitional government, urged the country's Congress to pass a proposal to bring forward general elections in a news conference from the presidential palace on Saturday. Boluarte, formerly Peru's vice president, assumed the presidency earlier this month after leftist then-president Pedro Castillo tried to illegally dissolve Congress and he was arrested. Since then, protests have broken out across the country and at least 17 people have been killed. Another 5 have died of indirect consequences of the protests, according to the authorities. On Saturday, Boluarte countered protesters asking for her to step down, saying that does not solve the problem and that she had done her part by sending the bill to Congress. On Friday, Peru's Congress rejected the proposed constitutional reform to move elections forward to December of next year. Some members of Congress have called for the legislature to reconsider the proposal. And finally tonight, international news. The U.S. House January 6 committee has wrapped up its investigation of the violent 2021 U.S. Capitol insurrection, with lawmakers today declaring that they have assembled a roadmap to justice to bring criminal charges against former President Donald Trump and his allies. As they cap one of the most exhaustive and aggressive congressional probes in memory, the panel's 7 Democrats and 2 Republicans are recommending criminal charges against Trump and associates who helped him launch a multifaceted pressure campaign to try to overturn the 2020 elections that he lost. The committee alleged violations of 4 criminal statutes by Trump in both the run-up to the riot and during the insurrection itself, as it recommended the former president for prosecution to the U.S. Justice Department. The charges recommended by the committee are conspiracy to defraud the U.S., obstruction of an official proceeding of Congress, conspiracy to make a false statement, and insurrection. While the criminal referral is mostly symbolic, with the Justice Department ultimately deciding whether to prosecute Trump or others, it is a decisive end to a probe that had an almost singular focus from the start. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.